This video is going to guide you through the Audition for the snare and quad etude. Snares, make sure you are playing this in traditional grip, tenors, matched grip, and you know, even though it is just on one drum, it still will show us plenty about what you did to prepare for this, and just to kind of make sure you're still on top of your game. So let's get started. For the purpose of this video and learning, we're going to be doing it at 120, and then I'll do a performance at full tempo at the end of the video. So here we go. So for snares, anytime you see a rim shot, it's going to be a ping shot, right? So that means that you're pulling back, trying to get the rim halfway on the taper, which is right there. Alright, so make sure you're rebounding in this first measure. So you're doing 1, 2, 3, then watch beat 4. Usually we're thinking beat 4 triplet is going to start on the left hand. In this case, it's starting on the right, so that the triplet roll on the next is starting on the left. So 1, 2, 3, notice that when I rebound beat 3, I'm only rebounding the right hand, so that I can do the 4 triplet 1, right? So here we go. So, alright, again, 1, 2, 3, and okay. So, measure 2. This is the first measure that has 2 heights. So the first measure was all with arm, nice and big, until beat 4, and then measure 2, we've got 2 heights. We're going to use 12 to 3. You know, the first measure is kind of just all up, what we would call 15, a little bit of arm and intensity. Measure 2 is going to have the 12 to 3 starting to get into the control and finesse. So, you know, the only weird thing here is just that it starts with the left hand. Not such a big deal. Make sure it's nice and consistent at the low level, 3 inches, and then you do end with a right hand 12-inch accent. So here goes that. And 1, 2, 3, and ready, go. 2, again, and go. Cool. Not much more to say there. Alright, measure 3. We've got our 12-inch accents. Okay, so after beat 2, make sure you stay down. Right, both of those don't rebound after that. Then lift up for the rim shot on the end of 3, and then just play the 5 single strokes as marked. So, alright, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1. Here we go. And 1, 2, 2, again, and go. 2, ready, go. 2, last time, go. Cool. And you can see I kind of started to lift up 1 and a 2 and a slow lift. That's just for style. It's part of the vocabulary of rudimental drumming. So add that in if you feel so inclined. All right, the fourth measure. So mezzo forte, right? So this is now 9 inches, about halfway up. So if 12 is, well, 15 is vertical, halfway of that is going to be 9, even though the math doesn't quite work out. Now halfway between 15 and 9 is going to be 12, right? So this is about your 12-inch height as far as like from a visual uniformity standpoint. That's what we're looking for. But here we go in measure 4. We've got 9 inches. So that's going to be halfway up, a little bit less volume intensity, but still make sure you're hitting all the low tap levels with good sound so that they speak and we can more easily clean that across the line. So notice on the and of 2 we have Flam Taps, and the tap of the Flam Taps has the half accent. So that's going to be, you know, 9 to 6, right? So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. And with a flam, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Cool. Ending with a flam, but it's a half accent flam. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Right. All right. Here we go. And 1, 2, 3 and 2 again. Go. Flam tap, and 1, 2, ready, go. 2, ready, go. So, you know, check out that the accents in the Flam Taps are a little bit more intense than the downbeat of the next measure. Easy on that next downbeat. Okay, So then we do measure 5, the beginning of the second line. Notice the sticking in the triplets is 2 putatas, right? So, and one has a flam. So you got an accent on the third partial of the first beat. 1 la li, 1 la li, 2 la li, paradiddle, boom. And all these accents are 9 inches, so not too much. 1 la li, 2 la li, 2 do, boom. Paradiddle, boom. All right, here we go. You know, in this case, you might want to focus on the first 2 beats for a second. 1 la li, 2 la li, 3. 1 la li, 2 la li, 3. Notice that the second, there's no accent. Second beat, no accents. 1 la li, 2 la li, 3. 1 la li, 2 la li, 3. Then paradiddle. Notice I didn't slam the accents in the paradiddles. This is still just a medium, right? So this whole etude is meant to, you know, sort of be like a mock up of what, you know, maybe like an opener or some, you know, some music that's in the show. It's got all the elements. It's got all the big slammy stuff. It's got the tasty finesse type of playing, you know, and then some medium volume playing like in these measures here. All right, so here we go. Playing measure 5. 1, 2, da ba da do. 1 la li, 2 la li, paradiddle, 1, 2, ready, go. 2, ready, go. 2, ready, go. Cool. All right, so notice in measure 6, 1 la, or 1 la li, right? And then 2 la li, nice 6-inch stroke there. 1, and then we got triplets with a quarter note triplet type of rhythm with those diddles there. So and kind of make something of that left hand. You know, even though technically it's at 6 inches, it should kind of be, you know, it's a good feel. Like it's just well written. I like it. And then the brr, 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 that's got to be nice and low, but accurately, rhythmically accurate, right? Right, so let's do that, and then do as you're practicing this, just do a single note for the next downbeat of measure 7. Just a release. Here we go. And 1, 2, ready, go. 2, ready, go. 2, ready, go. Cool. So going from measure 6 into 7, you've got, you know, these triplet speed diddles, and then all of a sudden you've got one eanda. You know, you got 2 diddles, but they're more spaced out in the rhythm of one eanda. So 3 la li, 4 la li, 1 eanda. So you're gonna go from a diddle speed which is more dropped in, and then you're gonna be stroking out the diddles a little bit more in the second measure. So there's gonna be a big change in your hands there. One is gonna be a little bit more of a squeeze. The other one is gonna be more of a stroking it out. Okay, so here we are, measure 7. Notice you got diddle diddle, paradiddle diddle, paradiddle diddle. Make sure you have good heights and you'll be fine. So this is just measure 7. And 1, 2, ready, go. 1 eanda, 2 eanda, 3 eanda, 4 eanda, 1. And low, because measure 8 is a long crescendo. Here we go, measure 7 again. 1, 2, ready, go. 2, ready, go. Right? So notice that it's all nice and even, as even as I can make it. And the accents are only where they are marked. Okay, here we go, measure 8. Single strokes followed by the 5-lets, which are 2 egg beaters. If the egg beater is not yet in your vocabulary, you're going to want to go back into the video that I had made. You can find that in drumline vids in the playlist that I've made. Alright, so this is just a long steady crescendo. We're starting from 3 inches, right? So even though in this measure 8 we have, you know, well, a long crescendo, but also once we get to beat 3 we have the accents and the half accents. So you know, we're gonna start at beat 3, or sorry, start at 3 inches, you know, to do the crescendo, and then nice and even. Hey, one thing, if you go back and watch the egg beater video, you're gonna, I explained that it's sort of it's an uneven rhythm. However, in this case, it's an even rhythm. It's a 5-lit, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, opportunity, opportunity. And you can see by the accents that are there, you do want to kind of give a little bit more to the right hand, the 3 of the egg beater. So, while still leaving room for a crescendo. So don't give it all right in the first egg beater. So, and this is what, you know, we always talk about when we do the triple beats, you know, pushing the energy all the way to the 3rd note of the triple. And that's especially true here because we're also trying to crescendo. And then, you know, this is at 120, but if we bump it up to 164, right, so it kind of becomes easier once you put it at that faster tempo. And look, even though it's marked at 164, you know, if you're playing this at 152, something like that, that's, I mean, you know, if by the end of the audition season that's where you're at, I mean, I don't know, let's just see how well you play it, and it's not necessarily a deal breaker. So we're looking for quality. Here we go. So this is measure 8, back at 120. Remember, start low and get those heights. And 1, 2, da 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 da. 2, ready, go. Oops. 1, 2, ready, go. 2, ready, go. 2, ready, go. 2, ready, go. 2, last time, go. Okay, so now we have arrived at measure 9. Well, there's only 3 notes in this measure, but there is definitely a certain style that you should play this with. And it's basically, you know, imagine what the band might be doing if you had this type of music. I'm imagining, you know, big rhythmic stabs, which are, you know, 1, 3, and. But that being said, we don't want nice big flowy motions if the music is very direct and angular. So for this, I would say downstrokes for everything, and then on the, let's see, on the downbeat of measure 10, just very quickly go out to the edge with some attitude. So like 1, 2, 3, and 1. So 1, 2, 3, and 4, 1. Here we go. And 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4, 1. And notice that when I do that, there's a little bump to the motion, because if you have a whole line of snare drummers and tenor drummers, well, not tenor drummers wouldn't do that, but you know, when you've got the whole snare line doing that, and it's got an attitude to that motion, it really is effective. All right, so now we've gotten to measure 10. So we're at the edge, and triplet on beat 2, normally that would be a left hand, according to check pattern rules, but not this time. We're going to start with the right hand, and that's so that we can end on the downbeat with a right hand shot. Here we go. And 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, lolly, 3, lolly, 1, 2, again, and go. 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, ready, go. 1. Cool. So, you know, music's not the toughest, but getting the style and the dynamic and the shaping is the more important part there. All right, so we are at measure 11. So for this, still we're keeping in with that staccato type of playing. 1, 2. You know, even though it's a very loud flam, notice that my right hand does not even really come up for that. Of course, the shot has to be played, but then you stay down and you do that grace note right there. So 1, 3, and then you've got 4 and. Normally I would say just keep that down, but if you peek over into measure 12, you're going to see that there's more rhythmic things tied to that. It's just kind of over the bar line. So what we're looking for is to float that. So 4 and 3. That's, like I said, that's going into the first 3 notes of measure 12. But given the style, you are going to want to float that. So here we go. This is measure 11. Yeah, 11. Here we go. And 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and float. Here we go. And 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and remember, we are floating because we have the next shot to play. So this time I'm actually going to kind of bridge the gap going into beat 3 of measure 12. Here we go. And 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 3. Now at that point, you can not rebound. And down. Just stay there for that. All right, here we go. One more time. And measure 11. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 3. There it is. Okay, so then if you start on the 16th notes of measure 12, which is beat 3, you have paradiddle-diddle, then single strokes 16ths, and a 1E, and a 2E, and, right? So paradiddle-diddle, and a 2E, and a 3E, and, oops, I said that wrong. Paradiddle-diddle, and a 1E, and a 2E, and, right? So, keep your heights, and the shots should be pretty intense. So paradiddle-diddle, and a 2E, and a and then you got your triplets. So, I'm going to start in measure 12, which is weird because it's up, but whatever. So you start at measure 12, playing to the and of 2 in measure 13. And 1, 2, 3, and 1, and 3, and a 4, and a 1E, and a 2E, and 1, 2, ready, go. 1, and paradiddle-diddle, and a 1E, and a 2E, and 1, 2, ready, go. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, go. And 1, 2, ready, go. Okay? And then be ready for the triplets that are low starting on beat 3. And when you get there, you're gonna play go halfway. So 1 and 3 and a 4. Halfway. Right? Okay. So this is beat 3 of measure 13. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1. So all of that is low. Yeah, it's nice and low. So kind of bridging the gap there. So to understand that, the style of playing in the second to last line, measure 12, 13, 14, we've got the most intense things, and then we've got, the most finesse that we can have as well. So, so notice that starting on beat 3, where it says mezzo piano, that's all just one height, right? So just a nice 6-inch roll. 11. 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, float. 4 and paradiddle-diddle. 3 to play 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and shot. And 1, 2, again, and go. 1, 2, float. 4 and paradiddle-diddle, and a 1E, and a 2E, and 2. And go halfway. 4 and 1, 2, again, go. 1, 2, 3. Halfway. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1. Make sure you're starting those triplets with the left hand. So paradiddle-diddle, and a 1E, and a 2E. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1. Yeah. So let's practice that little rhythmic shift there. So from beat 3 of 12, where the paradiddle-diddle starts, into the end of the line, right? So we're going from these big, intense 16th notes, going from down to the halfway for snare drums, and nice clean triplet note there. All right, here we go. This is starting on beat 3, measure 12. 1, 2, 3, and. Did you remember to start the triplets with the left hand? Here we go. 1, 2, ready, go. you know, the rim shot on the beginning of 15, not so loud. Sorry, I just played it loud, whatever. All right, so now we've got measure 15, which, you know, might look scary rhythmically, but, you know, if you practice each half of the measure separately, then you'll be fine. So in the course of 2 beats, you need to space notes evenly, 5 notes evenly. You know, if you think about the notes that you already know how to do, which would be like eighth notes, for instance, like 1 and 2 and 3. You know, 1 and 2 and 3. So that's 4 notes in the space of 2 beats, right? So we know what that is. That's eighth notes. 1 and 2 and 3. Now in that same spot, the space that we are going to put 4 notes, we have to put in 5 notes. So the notes will be faster. We're putting more into the same space, so they'll be faster notes. So, you know, 1 and 2 and 3. Now we're doing it to 5. So if you were to say in 2 beats, opportunity 1. So opportunity 1, opportunity 1. Or in this case, you know, opportunity 3, opportunity 3, opportunity 3, opportunity 3. You know, and we're doing, you know, now we have to play it musically. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, flam. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, flam. 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, flam. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, flam. Oops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, flam. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, flam. And once we get to the triplet, those notes should be all pretty intense. So 3, boom, boom. You know, think end of the phrase, big impact moment, marching band stuff. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, boom, boom, boom. 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, boom, boom, boom. 2, ready, go. And you remember, from the previous line, all those triplets were at halfway. So when we do the shot at the beginning of measure 15, that's going to be a side shot. So, you know, you're already at the gut edge. So all these halfway and edge things are going to be at the gut, which is, you know, if you're looking at a clock, it's going to be at 2 o'clock. So, just like that. So, okay. Let's play that measure all in its entirety. So measure 15. And 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, and 2, ready, go. Cool. And that's all there is there. Once you get to that downbeat at measure 16, on beat 2, do another one of those quick and intense moves out to the edge, the gut edge. So you're coming from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, go, 1, move, just like that. And then you've got, you know, after all that intensity, you got to finish out with some finesse with the tap triplet roll there. Tap 11. You know, and that's just that. That's at 3 inches. So here you go. So there we go. This is the whole last line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2. 2, again, go. 1, 2. Yeah, and let's do a stylistic stick bring in on beat 3. So, you know, typically you would bring in sticks in on 2. So 3, lolly, 4, lolly, 1, 2. But let's make it beat 3. Just like that. All right, here we go. Measure 15. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, out. And in. There you go. So now I'm going to put all of this together. Now, further practice strategies for you would be to, you know, figure out where the difficulties are and play those measures. So, for instance, measure 4 into 5, right? Like there's some tricky things there because you're dealing with a flam tap that's off the beat, and then you have to go into a potado that has a flam in it, into some paradiddles, right? So that's sort of a hot spot as far as accuracy goes. Going from measure 6 into 7, you've got those 2 different speed diddles. You know, watch the dynamics in measure 8. Remember the stylistic things that we did in measure 9 and 10, and 11 and 12, right? So you got the floating versus the downstrokes. And then you've got the pulse shifts that are in measure 13. And then just some impact in the end, followed by a little bit of finesse and a stylistic stick bring in. All right? So I hope you've enjoyed this this little tutorial. Smash that like button and all that. So, all right.